Welcome, everyone. My name's Nathan, and you're joining us for today's student panel. And today we're going to focus on all the opportunities you have if you come to the University of Leeds. So, looking at placement years, study abroad, societies, and the reasons why we really like Leeds. So, first of all, I'll introduce you to the other panelists. I'll start off with you, Matthias.
Yeah, so my name is Matthias. I'm a second year medical student coming from a foundation program.
Hi, my name's Kezi. I'm a fourth year law with Hispanic law student.
Hi there, I'm Fatima. I'm in my second year doing international business and finance.
And as I said, I'm Nathan, and I'm a maths and economics student, currently doing a placement year. So, just for context, a placement year is a year where you get to work in an industry, in a role, and basically you kind of gain experience and you learn what it kind of is to work a corporate sort of life. And it's a great way to learn what you like, what you don't like, and maybe what you want to go into in the future. So, my particular one is in educational engagement at the university. So I work on projects to help get underrepresented groups into the university, whether it be ethnic minorities, whether it be women in STEM, boys in psychology, so many different things. Um, but yeah, they're a great thing to do, and it's one of the opportunities you can have at Leeds with practically most courses, minus a few. Um, but yeah, no, Kezi, you've done something that's kind of an alternative to study abroad, to placement years, which is a study abroad. First of all, where did you go? And do you want to tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, so I went to Valencia in Spain, and that was part of my degree as a compulsory year abroad because I do law with Hispanic law. So I studied law in Spanish there, and yeah, that was what my year abroad was.
Whereabouts in Spain was it?
Valencia.
Valencia.
Yeah.
And how was it moving to a different country, kind of acclimating to a different culture,
Yeah.
accommodation? How did you get all that sorted?
Yeah, so you first got given feedback reviews for the countries, cities that you were looking at, and that's available for all of the countries and cities and towns that the University of Leeds have as options. You can also do an optional year abroad, so it doesn't have to be within your degree. And so, again, they have a wide variety of places they can go. And these feedback reviews will sort of say about the uni, the course, and accommodation, and sort of help you where to look for accommodation and how to do it. So yeah, I personally sorted my accommodation before going, but you can also set up a hostel when you first get there, so you can look at accommodation yourself. Yeah, so it's just about sort of adapting to a new environment. I obviously had the challenge of the language barrier.
Did you learn in Spanish?
Yes,
Oh,
I
Jesus,
learned
yeah.
in Spanish, but I did A-level Spanish before. But you don't need to have a really high level of language before going somewhere. Like some places only require you to do GCSE language for going, and again, some other ones, especially optional ones, they're in also English-speaking countries.
I was
So
going to say,
yeah,
I think I know people who've gone to Australia, Canada, in Sweden, I think they teach in English. I
yeah.
even know a guy on my course who's gone to Mexico. And bear in mind, he studies maths at the university and he's gone on to study cultural studies in Mexico.
Yeah.
So many opportunities in that sense.
Yeah, you really don't need a language. My friend who I live with in Valencia, she was studying English in Valencia, and her degree was English. So it just shows that you don't have to have a language in your degree to be able to do it.
And then some people that I know combine what we both have done and they'll work abroad.
Yeah.
So you have the opportunity to do that as well should you find a company that you really want to work for and apply for. What's interesting about kind of your experience moving to Spain is that you've got a similar one, haven't you, Fatima? But the other way round, you've moved
Exactly.
to Leeds. Do you want to tell us a bit more about how that was for you?
Yes. So I'm an international student. I come from the Middle East, specifically from Oman. So I came to Leeds. There were like lots of reasons why I picked Leeds. I would say the main one is because Leeds is known to be a student-friendly city, and then it's one of the top 100 universities in the world. I'm based in the business school, and it's one of the UK's leading business school. So they were like, the main reasons for me to pick Leeds. But I think it's worth to mention that I am an international student on a fully funded scholarship from my government, where I could pick any university, I could go anywhere, but I chose Leeds. And if I went back on time, I would still pick Leeds. And the main reason for that is because the unlimited opportunities we have here in Leeds.
How was it meeting new people? Because obviously you're coming from a different country where maybe not as many people come from, of course. How was it like meeting new people? How did you go about doing that?
All right. So before coming to Leeds, we actually have a WhatsApp chat with the students who are already in Leeds. So we get a chance to know their experience, what they're studying, accommodation, which is an important thing, of course. So I already knew some bits before coming to Leeds, but when I came to Leeds, of course, adapting to a new environment, especially the weather in here. All right. So I think it went very well, smoothly, because I had lots of support in here in Leeds. I had great personal tutor during, my studies, because I did my foundation year here. So I had great personal tutor. She was very supportive. I honestly, when I feel like I'm burnt out of my studies and things like that, I went for her once and cried with her. So like she was very open to have me,
And supportive.
comfort me,
Yeah.
very, very supportive, to be honest. And honestly, she knew my personality because I was very, sociable person,
Yes.
and I'm still a sociable person, obviously. So I told her my thoughts, my ideas, and then she encouraged me to actually have jobs here in Leeds and have an impact at the university.
So do you say you've got jobs here in Leeds?
Yeah, so that's varying, for part-time jobs, voluntary work, or like engaging with societies. So I have lots of roles here at the university, let's say. So I work as a student ambassador. So I work as a Link to Leeds ambassador, and I'm the first Oman ambassador since this scheme launched in 2012. That's really good on my CV, right? First time out, that's really good on my CV. But yeah, we basically, in Link to Leeds, we basically deal with prospective students. We help them with their, inquiries, if they have any questions, accommodation, our own experiences here in Leeds. Another thing that I work on is, I would say, the sustainability matters. So I am a student sustainability architect at the university, where I work with the sustainability service in here. We also have Garewood, which is actually a massive site for only, tree planting and discovering the impact of climate change on trees. But basically what I do now is that I'm leading the project of organizing the Student Sustainability Research Conference for the 12 Yorkshire universities, which is really amazing because I get the chance to provide the students with well-organized platform where they can, showcase their foundings, what they've explored in their fields related to sustainability.
Yeah.
So we can go like fashion and sustainability, things like that.
What's nice actually about that as well is on campus, I think you can see sustainability on a smaller scale, with the sense that you've got the sustainability garden, but you've also got like they're big on nature, the bunnies, the rabbits.
Yeah.
I have to mention them. For viewers who haven't been to campus, we have rabbits on campus who they just do their thing, don't they? And they've
Really
got like
cute. They're just
they're- and they've got I think am I right in thinking they've got little vegetable patches, I'm pretty sure, to feed the bunnies. Which
That's so cute.
they keep them going, which is great. But no, so that's definitely something to look out for at the university. And also to add on, Fatima does more than the average student. Not that that isn't normal for a student to do that much stuff. But no, you mentioned student ambassador and kind of that part-time work. Mateus and Kezi, how has that been for you? Because I understand that you're also student ambassadors.
Yeah, so student ambassador role is really good because I study medicine, and at times the timetable can be quite full. It can be quite full on. So balancing my time and work is quite hard. But with the student ambassador role, it allows me to choose the shifts I want to take on.
Yeah.
So then, let's say Wednesdays, I might have the afternoon free. If there's a job on that day, then I can take it. And obviously, cost of living goes up and everything. So, and there's things to buy. So the money does come really helpful too. Student ambassador role is really nice as well because you get to interact with other students too. I know me and you worked together one time, so we've been able to help students. And if they've got any questions about getting into university too, it's just really nice to be there because you're doing a job, but you're also helping out a lot. Campus tours is always really fun to showcase the university. I feel like a pro telling everyone about what this place is, when it was built, all that stuff. It's really fun.
And you get to discover places at the university that you didn't
Yeah.
know
I
about.
was about
Yeah.
to say,
You
I
get to-
discovered like what's it called, St George's Field on campus the other day, which is behind like the engineering buildings. I was in shock because I've been in this university now for 2 years and 4 months. I've counted, and I literally didn't know it was there until last week. But no, and what I like as well is that on top of like all the student ambassadors role where you can pick your shifts, you're also proximity to the city means that you've got a whole city's worth of kind of places that you can maybe work at should you want that part-time job to go alongside like studying, which I think's a big plus.
Yeah, I think the uni's really good at providing opportunities, like not just with the student ambassador role, but there's obviously you can work in the student union, and that's really good because you can get a part-time job that fits your hours
Yeah,
better. And I also know someone that is doing a job helping a professor at the university do research. So she does about like a few hours a week, and she gets paid to help them
Help out
do
with
their research. So that's really good.
no, it's really nice as well because especially as you mentioned, Mateus, cost of living, it's just nice to make stuff a bit more comfortable, like earn a bit more. But no, I understand as well, Mateus, that on top of your student ambassadoring and amongst other things, you're also a mentor for, is it Insight to Uni?
Insight Education, yeah. So essentially they're a company that there's many organizations that university link with, and one of the ones that I got involved with was Insight Education, which aimed to provide mentors for Black Heritage students. So me as a Black Heritage student, I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have no one to really guide me to university. So then the aim of this organization is to be there to provide for these students in sixth form. So what we do is we're partnered up with two sixth formers. There'll be year 12s, they'll be halfway through year 12. And then you'll be partnered up with someone who wants to do a similar course as you. So then obviously I had them. And then you just talk about specific things. So let's say they're asking for help, how to get into university, how to revise. And it's just obviously you get money, you get paid for it as well. So not only are you able to help them really well, because I think the benefit of it is I've had emails from them being like, I finally got an interview offer. I finally got an offer to university. And you do feel
That
so
must be
proud.
so encouraging.
I feel so proud every time. I'm always like, oh my days. Yes. Yeah. So it's just really nice because it's just one of those things. It even strengthens my skills as well. You know, it'll be great for my own skills when I want to go into another field and I can say, you know, I'm great at working in this aspect. I'm great at teaching a specific thing. So it's just a really good job, and the way that university offer it, it's so helpful.
Yeah. No, Fatima, I understand that you've kind of been on both sides of a mentoring scheme as a mentee and then also a mentor. Do you want to tell us a bit
Yes,
more about
exactly.
yours?
Of course. So we have lots of mentoring schemes at the university. In my first year, I was a mentee. So I started as a mentee. I picked a mentoring scheme. So I was paired with someone from the industry who's already, is working real world life, things like that. And then
Someone with an actual like,
exactly
yeah.
what life is like after graduation. All right. And then you get the chance to pick the topic that you want to discuss, whether let's say how to land a job after graduation, tips on CVs, interviews, more information about specific industries. So yeah, that was really beneficial. And then in my second year, I became a mentor, and that was part of WELS, and WELS is basically Women Leadership Society. So I am a mentor with them, where I am actually mentoring a first year student right now, and teach her more about the opportunities we have in Leeds, how to get help when needed, how to navigate the city itself, how to make friends, topics that we need actually as new people here in
Yeah.
Leeds.
No, Women Leadership Society, so that's one of the, we've got over 300 societies, don't we, at the
Yeah,
university? Kezzy, which ones have you taken part in since you started?
Yeah, so in first year, I took part in the tennis society, and in second year, I took part in my academic society, which was law. And they have 3 sub societies, which are negotiating, debating, and mooting. And I did the negotiating, which is basically when you are paired with someone to work with, and you get given a scenario which you're acting on behalf of your client, and the opposing team are given a separate scenario which are separate things that their client wants, and you have to get to an agreement basically, and you're judged on how you work within the team and how you sort of hold your ground but also compromise on things. So that's something that's really strengthened my skills in that area.
Do you think that that's been kind of a way to practically apply certain things that you might learn
Yeah.
throughout your course as well?
Yeah, definitely, because I think law we do a lot of essays. We do problem questions, which are more application. But this is a really good opportunity to apply this knowledge in practical life before getting a job, because it really will help you get that job to show that you've strengthened these skills. Yeah.
No, definitely. No, I think one one of the sites I want to give a shout out to, Mateus knows what it is. I'll let Mateus say which one it is.
Shout out to the Swift Society. Definitely.
Yeah, the Swift Society, Taylor Swift Society, is definitely a pure example of like the breadth of societies that we have at the university, and how they can be so niche. Like, I know that there's a Warhammer Society, Quidditch Society. Apparently, a lot of unis have, but you can get into Quidditch at Leeds because I'm sure our Quidditch team's amazing.
There's a caving one as well. Like, I watched them videos on like YouTube, and then people are caving. I'm like, wow. But the University of Leeds also have a caving society, so they're so unique. They're such unique societies.
Yeah, no, it is. And then also you've got the ones which I think some people might say, I wouldn't say basic societies, but the ones you'll expect at university. So I'm in the math society because math student. But what one misconception that I like to debunk is the math society doesn't actually do that much math in it. It's more of like a social space for people who all do the same course. And it makes it nice because it means that when you're in lectures and stuff, you see people who you've met in the math society, like, oh, hi, like, it starts a conversation, which is really nice. And within that, we have a football and a netball team. And that's something that I think Leeds is really good for. Like, you can go to stuff, I was going to say at entry level as if it was job, but like at beginner level, because we've got our social teams, which are, they're not, I'm sure they're good, but they're not, it's not like they're playing like at varsity level or something, which is really nice. Fatima, I know that Women in Leadership Society, haven't you been an award-winning society as well?
Yeah, so we're actually currently organizing the conference, which is called the Empower Conference. And then last year, it was the largest student-led conference in the UK.
You're
So that was a
joking.
big thing, you know.
That's
I'm currently also in the subcommittee. I'm also organizing the conference for this year. So we're basically, I'm currently basically in the part of, sales and treasury team. Um, and mainly my work there is focusing on budgeting the conference, making sure that the money we have actually goes well with the goals that we've set, but also the sales side of it, ticket sales, making sure that we maximize the attendees. But I also work with the corporate team, reaching out for other for other societies or like other universities that they're welcome to come here and join us in Leeds, but also like employers who they can come and showcase the opportunities they have in their own businesses and companies. So lots of things going around the conference. Yeah.
No, and what's nice with societies is they can be fun ones that you do, and they can also be great for like when you look at the skills that you learn, especially if you want to join a committee kind of thing. And they're a great way to find like a safe space for different people. Like we've got the 93% Club, which is for people who might go to state school. We've got the Community Society for commuters, so meeting like people who are going through similar things at university, which is really nice. But on top of that, you've got Leeds itself as a city. You've got the societies that unlock so many things, but you've got Leeds itself. How did you guys find coming to Leeds, obviously from different countries, but also different cities, which might have had different sort of vibes and been different sizes? Because for me, coming from Manchester, although I felt Leeds was smaller, I kind of preferred it. It was a bit less clustered and a bit less, what's the word?
Crowded.
A bit less crowded, which was nice, and it was very student-centric. How did you find it, Kezzy?
Yeah, I think it just depends on what you like. Like some people will like that buzz about a really crowded city sort of thing. And I think Leeds has that city buzz, but as you say, I think it's quite open. It doesn't feel too crowded. It feels big, but it also doesn't feel too big.
Yeah.
I come from a city a lot smaller than Leeds, so I was really excited at the thought of going somewhere with a lot more going on.
Did you find it a bit overwhelming at first, or were you kind of embedded in? You were actually okay?
Yeah, no, I didn't find it that overwhelming. I think sometimes when you come from smaller places, the thought of a bigger city is more exciting.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you say, like it's not it's not crowded. It's really nice. You've got so many things to do. The university is really close to it, which is what I liked about Leeds because it has the campus feel, but it's also only a 5 to 10 minute walk to the city
Yeah,
centre.
I think we can say that it's actually a hybrid. It's a campus and a city university at that point, really.
Definitely.
No, I agree. And Matthias, how was it for you coming to Leeds?
Yeah, so I come from a small town and we don't really have much, so it's a bit it's a bit some will describe it as boring, but we didn't even have an arcade. So we're coming to Leeds. When I was like I was gonna come to Leeds, I was just so excited because there'll be new things, there'll be more interesting things to do, and then I was always worried about how crowded it could be because I didn't really like I've never really liked cities where there's so many people walking and it just feels like everyone's everywhere. But then coming to Leeds, it feels like there's a lot of open areas. It just feels like it doesn't feel necessarily like a city, but it's quite open. It's calm as well. So coming from a town where it was quite calm, I'm in Leeds now, which is quite calm as well. So for me, it's been really nice, and there's a lot of things to do as well. So I'm not bored.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. Fatima, what would you say I was gonna say, what's your favorite place in either Leeds the city or on campus?
What about both?
Oh, both. You know what? I'll let you have
Alright,
both.
great. So I would say for the university, I would say my favorite spot would be Easter Simpson because it's one of the newest buildings and
It looks
part of the
good,
business
yeah.
school, so no bias at all. So yeah, Easter Simpson. It's really nice, new building, but then there are 2 training rooms in there. Amazing, honestly. For me as a business student, I need that.
And does
So
that like introduce you to the idea of like stock markets and trading, like it's
exactly
a
how
practical
to trade, how
application?
to earn money. So yeah, and I think that the trading rooms actually they're filling the gap between practice and theory because we need to apply what we're actually learning. The knowledge that we're studying in real life scenarios. So having the trading rooms are really amazing. But when it comes to the city, I would say I really love how the people are friendly. If you need support, if you need any help, they'll be here for you. But even the staff members, at the university, they're really supportive, uh, really friendly. I don't feel I'm away from home, to be honest, because I feel like Leeds is my home now.
Despite the fact that you're like a flight away from
Ah,
home,
and
yeah.
I think Leeds is warm, isn't it?
Temperature?
I guess.
No.
Oh,
No.
no.
It's still a great city, but not warm.
No,
I won't agree with that.
it's really cold, isn't it?
No, yeah, Kezzy, what's your favourite place? I know that you've got it's quite a common favourite place. Not that
Yeah.
it's basic, but it's common.
Basic. Yeah, so I mean, aside from my most common one, I really like the Cafe Nero's on campus. There's the business school one I really like because they're also really good workspaces, and yeah, I love that. And then if you cross the road from Parkinson, my favourite food spot is Bakery 164, which if you do come to Leeds, you will soon figure out that that's where many people go on their lunch break, and the queue will be like out the door. But yeah, it's
nice
popular
when
for a reason.
It's nice when the sun's out and everyone's sat on the steps to the Parkinson building,
Yeah.
which for reference, big white building, you'll see it from
You'll
anywhere.
see it.
And no, I completely agree with that. But I've still never been to this day, actually.
You haven't been to Bakery
No,
164?
I
Need
You
a
have
invite.
to go.
Same.
You know what? This
What?
We should, you know,
this is
before
not
God.
This is
relevant.
really, this is not, yeah, this isn't common. Like, everyone's been there.
Oh gosh, moving on. No, I liked what you said, Fatima, about the like practical application of like things with the trading rooms, because and I also like what you said about Esther Simpson, because there's so many like spaces on campus that you can go to and study in, even if you don't study in that school, if that makes sense. So like, the School of Mathematics has an amazing study space, but you don't have to study maths to be in there. So you've kind of got you've got access to most of the buildings on campus and most of the areas to study. But no, on the practical application aspect, I liked what you said with the training rooms, because I also did a module that helped me with practical application. So I do maths and economics, which you would think like, how do you apply that? But I did a module called Mathematics in Schools, where I taught mathematics to students. And I also did something called a discovery module. Have any of you done any? Yes.
I did.
So there's discovery modules, for reference, are modules that you can do outside of your course. So it can be practically anything. You could learn a bit of a new language. You could do something. I could do something in geography, anything. and mine was in educational policy and politics. You're trying to sound like you're all trying to pretend like it's like, oh my god, I'd love to do that. I thought it sounded really interesting, but that really helped me like decide what I want to do in the future as well. So I definitely say to people watching is that definitely look at the option for discovery modules if you can do them, because it's a great way to do something that you wouldn't usually come across.
Yeah, and there's another option if you don't have discovery modules available to you. Normally, your school have like volunteering opportunities. So, for example, I did something called Support Through Court, which I think twice a month I went to court and I offered like free advice to people that were representing themselves on their own in court who didn't have access to legal aid and things.
Oh wow.
So that would be like providing emotional support to them. Um, could be providing just administrative support with like the court documents. So that's a really good opportunity if you don't have that
Yeah.
in the discovery module. I think they're both really good ways to go outside of your degree and do something different.
No, it's such a great combination with discovery modules and then placement and study abroad. And depending on your course, well, like I know Mateus, you don't have access to discovery modules really, but because you do medicine, you'll be on placement like and getting that practical application to your subject. But how has that been for you as an experience, like studying and then also having placement?
Yeah, just a quick note. We also it's kind of like intercalation. It's like a discovery module where we take out a year
Yeah.
and do a specific area. So it's kind of we still get a bit of the joy of
Still
it.
get
as well.
something.
Yeah, but yeah, being on placement is so fun because obviously we learn a lot of the theory. I learn a lot of the core conditions, but it's so much different when you're sat there next to a patient and they're telling you how they feel, and they're really expressing how much they do need help, and it's so nice for you to be there, and it really does make you feel like, okay, this is why I've come to study this, and being on placement is just really such a great way to put it to practice. So I've really enjoyed it. I've learned so much as well. There's been so many skills that I'll carry on to the future, working with specific GPs, and they give me tips, and it's just having those connections as well. It's amazing.
No, it's that's one thing I like to say to people as well is that coming to university, I think there's this preconceived notion that it's like you come to study, you graduate, you get your job kind of thing. But it's also about the skills that you learn along the way and people you meet. Like talking about societies, you meet so many different people. That's great for people skills. Just like when you're writing an essay, you get skills from that. Like, there's so many different things to get that from. And I think it was you, Fatima, telling me about the career service and how they help you kind of consolidate those things.
Definitely. I mean, career service, it's my best service at university. My favorite, because I feel like I'm a workaholic.
Yeah.
I need their support a lot. So in the career service, we have career consultants, career advisors. They help with CVs, job applications, landing on placement, internships, whether they're like summer internships or interim internships, studying abroad, things like that. They really help with everything. You can have, like mock interviews with them or one-to-one appointments. And then we have great peer support assistants in there who are just like us as students, but they're trained to give advice for the students. So lots of opportunities there. I've used them a lot, to be honest, a lot. They helped me to get my summer internship with the university, because so last year I did my summer internship with the university. It was Leeds International Summer School Social Assistant. So that was my position. We welcomed around 400 international students, which was like the highest number that the university ever welcomed. So they helped me through my application. And then I had group interview. I never had this before in my country, or I didn't know what was that. So I booked mock interview. They explained the whole thing for me, what's gonna happen, blah blah blah, lots of things, lots of information. But then we also have JobLink, which is in our union, LUU. So they also help connecting students with employers. That's really amazing.
No, that's so nice. And I think the God, I can't say it, employability service that I've come across, they're really good with kind of showing you like the extent of what you can do. Like, although we're talking about how great Leeds is as a city, like they really open up opportunities to say, oh, there's this opportunity maybe in Newcastle that's become available, or this opportunity in like Sheffield. And that's one thing as well that I like about Leeds in terms of location is you don't just, for southerners like South Kessie, you unlock the north as well. Like you've got access to Manchester, Liverpool, Sheffield, Newcastle, York, and that's definitely something that's good about Leeds, especially if you're looking to for opportunities, whether it be job opportunities or whether it be just to go to different places, really. But no, I'm going to ask you two this as well, Fatima and Kezi. You both work on the Uni Buddy scheme, don't you? Do you want to explain what that is a bit more? Because I think that's something that our people watching would definitely be able to utilize.
Yeah, so basically, as ambassadors, we actually have Unibuddies. And basically, Unibuddy is a platform that connects ambassadors with prospective students. So we help them if they have any questions and inquiries, if they want to know more about our experience, in Leeds, how was the life in here, the city, more of like, modules, things like that.
Yeah.
We got tons of questions, don't we?
Yeah. It's really helpful if you have a more specific question that you want to ask, or if you want to ask a general question like how's student life, like you get more of a personal response. And you can ask modules, exams, any question you have, study abroad, placement.
But you can't expect that we don't know always the answer. We don't know always the answer. Right?
Yeah.
So
It's
sometimes we
nice,
can
though.
point to a link that will have all the information there that might have been harder to find.
It's nice as well because it gives them a bit of a head start. Like I've had students ask me about a student the other day was asking me about societies and give it a goes. So this is something we were talking about earlier, wasn't it, Mateus? Which is like give it a goes. You can it's the opportunity to try out a new society without committing to buying that membership, which is a great opportunity and that they offer them at the start of semester 1 and semester 2. So I was telling the student about it and they were like, I literally didn't know this, but it's nice that prospective students can have the opportunity to learn more before they come to university and then they can feel the most prepared.
Definitely. And you can ask sort of what should I follow? Like, for example, I would advise following the Leeds Union Instagram page because that will have the give it a go sessions, or it will have different societies advertising what they're doing, and then you don't miss anything during Freshers Week. We also have a Facebook group called Leeds Student Group, which is where you can post literally anything. You can ask, if you have a spare room in your house, or if you're looking for housemates, if you're selling something, if you're selling a ticket, like you can post virtually anything on there. So that's also a really good thing to know before coming here.
No, so definitely that's going to be like that's my final thing is to make sure you kind of, and for prospective students, make sure that you prepare yourself for uni and go onto those groups and try to meet people from your course before you start, because then it really does help with getting a head start into that. So as we've just said, you can access Unibuddy through the uni website and link to Leeds, which give you the opportunity to chat to students from different courses in different countries. You can chat to them online, join student-led webinars, and follow them on socials. So I'll just finish off by saying thank you very much to Mateus, Kezi, and Fatima for joining me today and helping provide and helping talk to us about those opportunities the University of Leeds. And we hope to see you in the coming year.
Thank you.